Hello, hello. So, I wanted to talk to you today about the day after perfection ends. Because I think this is a really big point to realize is that sometimes you're going along in a program and things are going so well, right? And even the video that I posted by Rachel was talking about like that sinkhole, the crispy sinkhole, and how like it's this thing that you keep like burying yourself in when you start to eat those carbs. If you haven't seen the video, go back and watch it because she's hilarious. Um, but this idea of what happens the day after perfection stops or ends, right? So you've been going along in this program, you've been doing excellent, and then all of a sudden something happens. You ended up, because of your schedule, the workout got missed, or like you got into a spot where you got stuck and you couldn't eat what you wanted to eat, and you ended up falling off the wagon and eating foods that you weren't intending to eat and didn't want to, but yet it was what was available. Or maybe you just succumbed to like, oh my gosh, I could really just use ice cream right now, whatever the case is, and all of a sudden your streak of going on so good and meeting your goals falls off. Well, here's the thing. That is when the majority of people quit, right? When they aren't perfect in what they're doing. But the reality is, we are not perfect. Life is not perfect whatsoever. And those things are going to happen. Right. And sometimes it happens out of your control in the sense that just whatever happens couldn't let you to do your workout because emergencies happen or whatever. Or sometimes it's a choice. It's I really want to go out with my friends and I want to splurge and I want to do this. Right. And none of them is better or worse than the other. We aren't perfect. And that's the reality of it. But each step that we do take is a step in the right direction. Right? So even if we backslide and aren't perfect all of a sudden, the point is to be able to pick ourselves up and be able to continue on and become the best versions that we can be. So let me give you an example, because I have been eating the nutrition plan exactly to a T and have been doing wonderfully, have done my workouts. I purposefully chose to switch my days because I knew what my days were going to be like. So my workouts, I switched, and now I'm caught up with everybody again. And in the future, I actually have to do that on Fridays. My days on Fridays are horrible, and the thought of me exercising on top of that, I don't think my body can physically handle that, just because everything it's going through. I was able to this last Friday because I had a couple of things I didn't have to do that I normally do. So my rest days are going to be on Fridays, and then I'm going to catch up on Saturday and Sunday and be back with the team again on Mondays. But today I went out to dinner. I'm here in Portland and doing our leadership retreat. Tessa actually had to go back home tonight. I'm staying for one more day that's kind of for the more advanced leaders, which Tessa is going to be coming to by next year. Did you see how I did that? But we went out to dinner, and everybody that was there is doing the 80-day obsession, and yet some reason we picked an Italian restaurant to go out to dinner because apparently it's one of the best Italian restaurants in like the world, or that's an exaggeration, but for some people's standards they really love this Italian restaurant. And so I ended up going there with them because I wanted to be able to socialize and still connect and network and be able to bond with the larger team. And I didn't have Tessa here to keep me accountable. And so I thought, hey, I'm going to go out with them, but we pick an Italian restaurant that like is bread and pasta and cheese. And I'm like, there's nothing on here that I could eat. And then I was like, okay, you know what? I could order salad. I could do this. I could do this. But my eating schedule was off today also. And so it left me really hungry, and I did not make good choices. I did not. As far as my health goes, as far as taste goes, I made really good choices. I had an amazing pasta dish and some caprese salad. It was delicious, but it was definitely not fitting within my containers or my nutrition plan whatsoever, because it was pretty heavy on the carbohydrates in that. And I didn't like overindulge. It wasn't like tons and tons and such, but it was not what I was supposed to do. So I have now stopped my perfection streak, right? So the goal is I'm already making plans to make sure that I can not fall into this other streak, and that I can actually just work on it again and become better. So I already have a date tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., which I am not a morning person, but that's when she wanted to work out with another person who's here staying at the hotel. And we're gonna go downstairs and we are gonna rock out our workout together at 6 a.m., which means I need to get up really early for me to be able to do that. So I'm actually going to bed now, which is nice because it's only 10 and I don't normally go to bed at 10. So I'm gonna get some sleep and I am going to get up and eat healthy. I already have all my meals ready. I already know what's going on tomorrow, and I know that I'm not gonna set myself up for failure. And so I just want to encourage you, even if you fall into that sinkhole, or it's when you all of a sudden break your perfection streak and something happens, it's okay to pick yourself up and to go back into it and to nail it the next day, because that's what I'm gonna do starting right now when I go to bed. So I will see you guys tomorrow, and I'm gonna check in with my workout after I've completed it at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Have a good night.